Chest pain, long pain, commercial vital alarm, long pain,
So I'm doing the lieutenant's packet. I started back in October. It's a series of, essentially it's just hoops you got to jump through, certifications, experience on calls. It's just a bunch of stuff that you have to do to kind of meet benchmarks that are required for the company out in the front of the seat and making decisions, company officer position. So it's an eval packet that you log in, you get a login on the computer, and you got to do a bunch of stuff on that, and then you sit up front. I got Kenny Tasker, who's the promoted lieutenant here. So he kind of helps me and guides me through stuff. We go on alarms and gas leaks, vehicle accidents, and so it's just essentially just getting experience, running those calls, and then as we go through it, I'm evaluated by Kenny. And then at some point, when they're comfortable, I'll take an engine clearance test and a tower clearance test, and once I'm done with that, I'll be eligible to act as a lieutenant, and then I'll still have to take the test to promote. You have to have 5 years on the job, and then you're eligible to promote. So I'll have my 5-year anniversary this year, and I feel like I'm ready. It's one of those next steps in the process, and so yeah, it's good. I've been having a lot of fun, learning a lot.
Fire alert response. Tower 32, engine 33, lift off 30, commercial fire alarm, long page U29A at Capital Street, 7877, South Chester Street. Tower 32, engine 33, lift off 30, commercial fire alarm.
For fire alarms, you know, we go en route and we're looking at the notes right away. So that's one of that first size up portion of just trying to collect all the information we need to make good decisions when we get on scene. For this one, it was a single call. It was a zone 1 fire alarm. So we immediately, you know, get route, find the direction we're going to be going, and then pull up the pre-plan. Our pre-plans are very detailed and has all the information where the fire alarm panel keys are and all that stuff. So we want to look at that real quick so we know where to position, maybe a quick look at the hydrants, but for the most part, we're going to make access and look at the panel. On scene, large 3-story So no evacuation. We're going to be off as a strategy investigating. And we want to meet up with building maintenance right away. That's like our best resource for those calls. And right away we were getting reports of obviously no problem. He was doing some maintenance and it just charged the system. So, you know, at that point we can kind of, we know it's not a fire, you know, or an actual alarm. So it's pretty common. We run those calls and we got to be familiar with those systems. So just getting into each alarm panel, we'll play with them and make sure we're trying to get them reset and acknowledge. And everyone's a little different. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So, but yeah, that's pretty much for the most part for me for fire alarms. You know, South Metro's definitely got a very extensive health wellness program. We're held to a pretty high standard to hold and maintain a 12 MET is the goal. And so we try to get in at least one workout every shift if we can. Obviously the goal is to kind of change people's lifestyle in the fire service and just work out on the 4 days. But if we got the time and we're in the firehouse as a crew, we like to get together. And Brian Favero, I'm working with him today. He's kind of a fitness guru guy, so he gets some good workouts for us, and we all get down there. It's good camaraderie and get a good sweat going, and it's fun, and we just, you know, make it enjoyable. It's part of the job, the profession, and so it's important. So yeah, we do what we need to do to maintain that 12 METs. A lot of guys get a lot higher, and some are kind of right there at that cusp, and so yeah, I mean, today was a great workout. Brian put together a sweet little, it's kind of like a CrossFit hybrid type, you know, like a Tabata type workout in CrossFit. So it was good. It was fun.
Eastbound to I-25 southbound ramp. Level 15, engine 33, power 34, and DA with a known injury.
So on a highway, so specifically, so the first due engine, we're going to get up and get kind of close on scene. We'll park within 50 feet, 20 feet of and we'll, you know, the engineer will position the rig in a way that protects all of us and protects the scene. So we'll get out, we'll go triage and go see who's hurt, what we need as far as extra resources or not. And the second due truck will be the one that comes up. He parks further back about 100 feet, just to, specifically on highways and any kind of real high hazard areas on big turns or over hills. He may go back a little further, but it's essentially just giving us that extra buffer, safe zone to keep vehicles out of the area so we can actually perform all the duties we need to do safely. And then the medic will come up. The medic will actually pull in front of the accident. So they're protected by everything. And then if there is patients, we'll assist getting them loaded up. If we have extrication, we'll call the right resources or use the stuff that we have if we can extricate and get them out. But that's essentially what the highway. Now, residential is a little different. It's just a single apparatus and medic, so. But similar, you're just blocking the scene, making that scene safe so you can perform all other duties. Right now, because 470, all the construction that's going on, there's a lot of obstacles, like, you know, the lanes are always changing. You know, they're merging into one or changing further back. So that does kind of make a challenge. And it makes a challenge for the people calling 911 call in to actually give us a good location. So, you know, there's times where we've been reported to go to a certain area, we get there and it was actually northbound instead of southbound. So, you know, 470 is a challenge right now just because of that construction.
No, nothing at all.
So everybody in the department that is certified to wear SCBAs and masks, and some guys with tech team and hazmat have other half masks and other stuff they have to be tested in. But essentially, you go down to Station 35. Captain Major runs that whole outfit and does a lot of the SCBA stuff. So he sets up humidifiers in the room, and we have to put on masks and go through a series of breathing in and out and changing our heads. And it's essentially just testing the seal on our face pieces and stuff. So we have to do it every year and make sure we pass. And once we pass, then we move on.
medical response.
Engine 33, medic 17, chest A, long range B21, B904, Edward Street. Engine 33, medic 17, chest 10.
Ask that question a lot to us, like, why is there 6 guys coming into my house on this? I just called for an ambulance. Well, they don't necessarily understand is when there's a sick patient and they're really sick or they're even dying, it's a true emergency, which a lot of times, you know, the 911, people in their mind, it's a 911 emergency, but a lot of times for us, it's not. It's just the normal call, and we just assist them and help them out, and we're happy to do that. But the sick patients, the more hands we have, like for example, a cardiac arrest, there's a lot of things that need to take place very quickly. Chest compressions, IVs, airway management, all that stuff needs to happen. So when you call 911 and they're in cardiac arrest or very sick, we could be calling cardiac alerts, stroke alerts. We could be getting multiple things done at once very quickly in an organized fashion. So that is the biggest reason why you'll get 6 people on an EMS call. I mean, just last set, we shoveled a lady's whole driveway out. She's an elderly woman, sick, not dying sick, but she's sick, and we brought her paper in for it. It is, but that's public service. That's what we do. Bring the paper in. We shoveled her driveway off. We helped her out. We made sure her stove was off and everything lights were off. Her door was locked. So there's a lot of components to it that people don't really, I don't think, take into consideration with just, or if you had 2 people show up and they got to really take care of the patient, they don't have time to do all that stuff. So it's a huge public service, and I definitely think we're really good at that here. We do go above and beyond. It's just good for the public, and it's a positive thing. So tonight we're doing stuffed flank steak. So flank steak, we roll it out, we put some bell peppers in there, spinach, feta cheese, a little olive oil, and some salt and pepper. We roll it up, put some butcher twine on there, and we'll grill it. We'll serve it with some kind of potato. But it's, you know, it's healthy meat, potatoes, steak. I got some fries with it, so it's good. And I got, you know, people always ask recipes, but there's so many. I'll remember them as the day goes, or something will come up, and we'll throw something together. So it's fun. So for me, you know, I think chow and mealtime is by far, it should take priority in the firehouse. I mean, we got to eat, and it's important. And nowadays with the health standards and our MET testing, you know, eating healthy and having good meals is pretty important. So, and it's a part of that whole camaraderie and team building. It's nice for all to sit down. So I love cooking and enjoy it. I've been cooking for a long time, so it's fun. And everybody, you always hear guys like, oh, I don't want to cook, or they drive, but I like it. So I think more so than my food tasting good. I think it tastes good, but it's, you know, people like, because I enjoy it and I have fun doing it. So it's good.
We have 7732 Avenue and 360 now they will provide an address,
So for you personally, what's your favorite part of the job?
It'd be easier to answer like what's not my favorite part.